Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to have a real conversation with you today. And look at the calendar, it's already January 12th. About 12 days ago, the world was full of magic. You were probably sitting there on New Year's Eve thinking, 2026 is the one. This is the year I will get the six pack. I saved the 10 grand, and I finally stopped feeling like I'm drowning. But here's the hard truth. It's January 12th, and for about 80% of the people watching this, the New Year magic has already evaporated. The gym is starting to feel like a chore. The meal prep contained in the fridge looks boring, and that strict budget you promised yourself, you've probably already cheated on it because you had a bad day at work and your car made a weird noise and you need to hit a dopamine that comes from a $15 takeout meal. I know I am myself over my food budget, so no shame there. If you're already struggling, I'm not here to tell you to grind harder. I'm not here to give you a motivational speech about wanting it more. Honestly, motivation is a scam. It's a feeling that comes and goes based on how much sleep you got or what your boss said to you. The reason you're failing isn't that you're lazy. It's because you're trying to fight a fair fight against a rigged system. You're trying to use willpower to solve a problem that requires infrastructure. Willpower is a battery, and by 6 p.m. on a Monday, your battery is at 2%. In 2026, we're done relying on how we feel, and we're building a fortress. There's a famous saying, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. That's by James Clear in Atomic Habits. Think about that while you watch this gameplay. In a game like Battlefield, if you just run into the middle of the map hoping to win because you're motivated, you're going to get sniped in 5 seconds. You win by having a loadout, knowing the map, and having a squad that covers your back. That's a system. Sadly, I just play by myself most of the time, so when you see me do something dumb, it's because I didn't know what was going on. But your life is the same way. Most people try to be the main character who wins every battle through sheer force of will. But the main character eventually gets tired. The architect, however, builds the castle so they don't have to fight at all. In 2026, the ultimate flex isn't being a hustler, it's being aggressively average. It's admitting, hey, I'm human. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to want to spend money on things I don't need, so I'm going to build a safe machine that protects me from myself. A machine that doesn't care if you're sad, a machine that doesn't care if you're stressed, a machine that just runs. If you automate your wealth, you will win by default. You aren't choosing to save. The system is saving for you while you're at work, while you're playing this game, or while you're asleep. That's the only way to win an economy that is designed to keep you broke. So let's get tactical. How do you actually build this? Well, it starts with something I'm going to call the admin day. I take about 3 hours on a Sunday or whatever day you have off to set my loadout for the next month or week. Think of this as your weekly triage. If you don't take these 3 hours, you're going to spend the other 165 hours of the week in the state of low-level panic. Here's the checklist. So first, we want to audit. I look at my bank account for the last 7 days. I'm not judging myself. I'm just looking at the data. Where did the money leak go? Did I pay a convenience tax at a drive-thru because I didn't just maybe have a snack in my car ready to go? If that's the case, we have to stop the bleed. The next part is the payday partition. I look at exactly what is coming in and exactly what is going out, and I make sure my safe money is already moved. That means putting it together, putting it into your account, making sure that the extra 5% is already taken out, and you're set to go. Number 3 would be the physical loadout. This is where I meal prep, and I look at not making gourmet meals. I'm making fuel. I'm making sure that when I get home from a 20,000 step shift, I don't have to make a decision. The decision was already made on Sunday. I trade 3 hours of boredom on Sunday for 700 hours of peace for the rest of the month. If you're constantly reacting to your life, you aren't living. You're just surviving. The admin day is where you take the wheel back. It's where you decide that your time and your money belong to you, not to the companies trying to influence you. Now, let's look at the next part. Let's talk about the engine. This is the part where we take the human out of the loop entirely. If you have to remember to save money, you've already lost. My system is what I use with the direct deposit split. Most of you have a payroll portal at your work. You can go there right now and tell it to send 5 or 10% of your paycheck to a completely different bank account. Not a different bucket in the same app, a different bank. This is your fortress fund. Most people tell you to save 6% of your expenses. I'm telling you to aim for 12 months. Why? Because in 2026, 6 months is just surviving. 12 months is freedom. If you look at some economic data, about a quarter of the people who are unemployed have been unemployed for longer than 6 months. That means if they had rent, if they had other things going on that they had to pay, they were out of luck if they hit 6 months, and that was it. When you have a year of cash sitting in a high yield account, you aren't a worker anymore. You're a consultant. You can walk away from toxic boss. You can handle a layoff with your heart rate not even going up. So let's look at the other parts of the engine. You want to auto invest. Every month, a set amount goes into the boring S&P 500 index. I don't check the price. I don't care if the market is up or down. I'm just buying the average, and the average wins over time. The HSA is another stealth move. If you have access to a health savings account, max it out. It's the only account that is triple tax advantaged. It's like a secret IRA, individual retirement account, that the system doesn't want you to focus on. If you can, auto pay everything. I don't pay a late fee tax. If it's a bill, it's automated. I've eliminated the need to remember dates. When the human is removed from the loop, the results become inevitable. You are building a fortress brick by brick. And the best part is you aren't even the one laying the bricks anymore. The machine is. So now, I want to share something personal here. You guys know I just transitioned from on-demand to a permanent full-time position. For a lot of people, that's just getting a job. But for me, it's a pretty tactical maneuver. I spent 2025 in the feast or famine cycle. I was chasing hours, wondering if I'd have enough, and reacting to the schedule. For most of 2025, I didn't even have a job. I was just doing some Uber and hoping that the demand for Uber was enough to make it work. So by moving to a stable 30 to 35 hours a week, I finally gave myself a safe machine, a consistent fuel source. This is the point I want to drive home. Stability is the ultimate luxury for 2026. The world wants you to be a hustler or a shark. They want you to have 5 side hustles and never sleep. But I'm telling you, there's more power in one stable, automated income than in 5 chaotic ones. When you have stability, you have the headspace to think about the next level. You can start looking at the management gap I talked about in the blog, and you can start upskilling. You can start building this channel. And the management gap was talking about how younger people aren't really interested in becoming a manager at a job, but companies still need that middle manager. So think about it. I'm not just working 40 hours to pay rent. I'm working 40 hours to fund the machine. I'm studying how the corporate machine works so I can eventually run it. I'm moving from worker to architect. I want you to come with me. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Well, don't close them if you're watching the gameplay, but visualize this. It's December 2026. You're sitting on your couch. The holidays are coming up. But unlike last year, you aren't stressed. You aren't doom spending. You aren't worried about how you're going to pay for January. You didn't hustle your way to this piece. You didn't stay up until 3 a.m. every night. You just sat back and let your systems work. Your 12-month fortress fund is full. Your investments have been growing every single month without you touching them. You're safe. You're average. And you're richer, mentally and financially, than you've ever been. That is the version of you in December that is waiting. But that person depends on the button you click today. It depends on you going to your payroll portal tonight. It depends on you setting up your first admin day this next Sunday. Stop relying on willpower and start building your fortress. In my blog, I've put the 2026 reset checklist, and you can find that on saf-finance.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave something. I see that some people actually do see my videos, even though I don't really try to advertise it or anything crazy. So if you do, please take a look and let me know. Thanks so much. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.